Don't be sad it's over. Be glad that it happened. The final round of AFL Fantasy has come and gone, and we're here to talk about the season as a whole, as well as the highs and lows. Let's go!
Just done it from nowhere. Lifting the goal from inside the 30. Sheed from the boundary. Dusty.
G'day and welcome to the Ball Boys AFL Fantasy Podcast for the final time in 2025. I'm your host, Mitch Casey, and of course you can find me on Twitter at Ball Boys Fantasy. And for the last time this season, I'm joined by Luke Rogerson, coach of the Mighty Oxlongs. How are you, my friend?
Good, mate. It's good to be doing it for the last time.
Is it now?
Yeah, but I didn't say that with enough vigor. It's fucking great to be doing it for the last time this season. I mean, why would I say that, Mitch? Well, I ended up ranked outside the 8,000. I think it was 8,354 in the end. It's pretty fucking miserable. But the writing's been on the wall for a little while.
Yeah. We had some high performances to follow up from the year before. You were coming off a championship, premiership winning year on the
Content
Creators Cup. I was coming off my hat winning year. So look, it was really nowhere to go but down from last year. So
and boy, did we.
And we did. But at least for myself, I am happy to report that I finished with the highest rank that I had for the entire season was the final round of the season. So I feel positive about that at least, which I don't think I've done for a long time before. I think often I get higher at some point of the year and then come back down a little bit. So
you were peaking at the right time. It could have, I mean, the fatal camping trip is always in the back of your mind, and it could have been even higher if you...
We'll get to that, yes.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Do you wanna reveal your score and specifically your final rank for the season?
The final rank, if you were listening, I did just reveal it, but I know you don't listen to me. The overall score was 2294 in the end, which was pretty miserable, but that's where it ended up for the Ox shits.
Ox shits, indeed. I scored the 2397. Would have been nice to just a little 2400, but
Not
couldn't
bad.
quite get there. And then fell down or went to 889th. And you referenced that camping trip. Yes, I've done the math, and the two variables that I could have changed this year, which would have changed nothing else, no domino effect. If I started with that red dot, which I told everyone to do in the preseason, and had that captain score in round one, and if I didn't go camping and had access to changing my bench around, I actually would have finished 412th. So
sounds a lot more impressive, doesn't it?
It does. It does sound a lot more impressive. So it cost me a good 400 and what's that? Like 70 ranks.
So two things: practice what you preach and get Starlink.
Get Starlink. Yeah, just don't go camping. You know, camping, especially with family, it's they won't understand you going for a hike to get reception so you can check loops and stuff. But just two little things would have saved me a lot. But anyway, 889th. I'm happy to finish in the top 1,000. And was pretty stoked to get in the top 900 as well. So, like I said, best rank for the season to finish on.
You might think that because it's the last round, we're going to let people off lightly. We are not. We are still going to do
sorry.
Camels, sponges, and we'll even go into BOGs and Flogs. Let's start with Camels. And pop. You got to build into it. You got to build in. Round 24.
I was told to avoid the camel dance, so I'll leave that to you. All right, camel for this one. Now, there is no excuse when you come up against the VFL side that is Richmond. It is the easiest of kills in the AFL. Harry Sheasel had 54 fucking touches against this team. There were 360 plus scores against them. So when we trade in a player who's been a premium forward for the entire season, especially the back half of the season, we expect more than one of his worst performances of the entire year. Brian Myers, I'm looking at you, my friend. What the fuck is this, Luke?
Yeah, it's disgraceful. The thing that I said to you mid-weekend as well was that we were obviously preaching the fact that for guys like Myers and Manor, we were hoping that their kind of safe floor would mean that if you went against like a Jeremy Cameron, maybe you wouldn't get hurt quite as much.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if you went Myers or Manor, you were slightly kissed that Cameron didn't go bigger in the end, but just inexcusable from those boys.
Yeah, I have owned Brian Myers for exactly one round this season, and it was this round. So he averaged 67 for my team against Richmond.
Brilliant.
I just can't believe that. Like, look at his scores prior to this. Like Sydney, 92, 96 Essendon, Port Adelaide, 122, 98, 89, 87, 102. Where's the 60s there against those other decent sides? Anyway, last time he versus Richmond, he turned up. That's what I was expecting. And so that is as camel as it becomes to me.
It was a week of kind of opposite scores. This fella in the sponge category was not feeling himself the last couple of weeks, but he got it done.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Absorbent and yellow and porous is he.
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Zachy B is the
Yes.
man that I'm talking about. We know this guy can score with the best of them, but we just haven't seen it in the past month or so. Not to be on the weekend, it was very good.
Massive score, 152 points, and he did it for his coach. And I'm sure at the end of this game, his coach would have been smiling ear to ear. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get Splash Brothers over the line. I was talking about his fantasy coach, of course. So Zach Butters came out and played for his coach for the final time and gave it his best. He let it out all on the line. And I suppose Ken Hinkley was also a factor there as well.
That was well delivered. Did you workshop that one?
Yeah, I did.
You bet. Yeah, whole drive home.
I was going to tweet it, but then I thought I didn't want to moz it for Splash Brothers. So end up
Save it for the Monday show.
someone already mozzed him. But it was a big feature in the battle for the Hilux and for a lot of other people as well, with his score being the highest of the round. And also his teammate, we'll give a special shout out to Connor Rosie, who also lifted. So a lot of spongy behaviour in that game from those two boys.
We normally take our sweet time with BOGs and Flogs, but we will try and get through it a little bit quicker today.
And the winner of the Norm Smith medal.
You're an embarrassment to what you do, mate.
It is
You're an
also
embarrassment.
it's important to get this off our chest because it's still fresh. A lot of people there's a lot of tears. There's a lot of people over the moon with how they finish. So we've got to. It's a safe space. Last time to do it. Bog on this one has to go to Flynn Young. To Flynn Young in the Essendon versus Carlton game.
I got ahead of myself. I'll save this. I'll save this.
That's later. But Flynn Young put up a 90 and was the second highest scoring forward, or third highest, because Christian Petrarca was there.
Yep.
But Flynn Young with his 90 that somehow found his way on my field was one of the more respectable scorers in my forward line this week, Luke. He was ahead of Chad Warner. He was ahead of Brian Myers. He was ahead of players like Sam Darcy.
Yeah.
This man deserves his flowers.
One of the things about this off-season that I think is important is we just need to give your tip a rest.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I can't imagine how much chafing and redness
whoa.
there is down there because you don't stop. Round 24 and you just park Flitty Young at F6 and you get a
Bang.
90.
Pull the trigger.
Disgusting. The flog in this one is Carlton. Just for,
Just being irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like, what have they done this year
Give us more.
for fantasy? I mean, Doherty had a little patch there. Chera, like, all right, yeah, Hewitt, but like
they all hurt us in the end.
they all hurt us in the end, and they're just not a fantasy relevant team. And like TDK, he was a flash in the pan for a little while. So yeah, just lift the game for next year. Carlton is the takeaway.
Speaking of pans, the bog in the next game.
Cook,
Finally,
the chef.
chefed himself up 100. Christian Petrarca.
I love how we're giving him the best on ground for 104. Like, that's what it's come to for Christian Petrarca. But I will say, for our forward line this week,
that was good.
we'll fucking celebrate 104.
It was while everyone else was falling down in the final round that Christian said, hey, I'll give you a little bone, and he did. So thank you, Christian. The flog, on the other hand, was a guy that was giving us bones all year. That sounds weird. He was giving us bones all year, but when it mattered most, Josh Dacos just limped the finish
Really
line.
limped there. Like, the last 3 rounds, 64, 67, 88. After doing 3 out of the 4 tons the last rounds up before that. Yeah, and he was looking good in this game early.
Yeah.
I think he was like leading scorer at halftime or there or thereabouts. And then, again, the second half just disappeared. So very, very disappointing for someone who had a really good season up until that point, but then basically settled into to his 94 average, which he did basically the same last year.
Before we talk fantasy scores, how did the Gold Cunts lose to Port Adelaide on the weekend?
That's one of the more disappointing results
That
for
is
the weekend.
miserable. I think just when you feel like they're ready to take the next step, they dish up one of these. So
Also
Bogs-
extends the pain of the Bulldogs, who now have to sit and wait and see if they're going to win against Essendon.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
It would be one of the all-time sort of falling over at the finish line if Gold Coast don't beat Essendon on Wednesday.
It wouldn't surprise me if there's a few facial fractures in the Essendon team on the weekend. And what I mean by that is players wearing face masks to protect themselves from facial fractures. Now, I don't want to go and throw any accusations out.
Where is this going?
But I'm just questioning who could be behind those face masks. Because we might have Barkas Montempelli.
Yes.
We might have
I see. Yeah.
Im Tinglish behind the face,
Yeah.
face mask. So
Big fans.
yes, yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Maybe workshop that one a little better.
I think the execution was a little off there.
But yeah, the Bulldogs,
Points for
they're
trying.
the biggest fans of the Essendon Bombers for the next several days.
You don't
But
know.
going back to the Gold Coast versus Port Adelaide game, best on ground, those two Port Adelaide, it was basically a tale of two halves or two different teams, basically. The Gold Coast midfield, absolutely deplorable, disgusting, gross. 50 for Matt Rowell, 48 for Noah Anderson, so they get the flogs. And on the other side, complete reverse, massive scores, Butters and Rosie.
Outscored them by almost 200.
Massive, like... I was going to say they times it by 8. What's that? Anyway.
Octopussy.
They just doubled, tripled, quadrupled times 2 their scores. It was absolutely insane. The fact that two different midfielders could be so vastly different in scoring. I don't think I've seen something quite like that before.
Adelaide and North Melbourne, we were getting great scores in our ruck lines from pretty much all of the candidates, but the guy to go to 2 weeks ago was Tristan Sherry. Fuck me.
I thought he would go all right against Richmond. Obviously, you didn't expect the 160, or at least I didn't. But this one, particularly, the massive score against Riley O'Brien, who's kept a lot of players to some poor scores this year. So Tristan Sherry, massive, back-to-back 150s. He would have been a very nice trade-in. And if you did go there, he was unique and you would have been rewarded massive.
The writing on the wall was there for this one. Colby McHurcher in a tough Adelaide matchup kind of was restricted. We saw that one coming.
Yeah, well, we saw it coming, and yet I did nothing about it and just copped that one on the chin. So
you got to deal with guys like McRae, and we'll talk about that in a second. won't we?
That's fair.
Richmond and Geelong, we've driven by Myers and Manor for the flog, but the bog can go to Jeremy Cameron again. The forward line was
He's a bog because he scored well, but also the teams that didn't have him, he was a bog because he didn't go
kill us.
too nuts. Because what did he have, like 3-4, and I think he kicked 2 that went either didn't make the distance or out on the full, so could have been much bigger. So I think everyone's a little bit happy in that one there. West Coast versus Sydney. It was the return of thirsty Errol in this one. Errol Goulden. I was watching this game very intently because he was one of my trade-ins the last couple of weeks. He went 133, kicked a couple goals, and the moment I saw him screaming for some marks in the most
demonstrative.
It was just the most pointless spots.
Oh, sorry.
Just like he was 15 meters away, just dead on side. Like no point kicking it to him.
Dead
and he
what?
was
Onside?
like just
What
right.
sport are you talking about?
Yeah, different sport. But just right next to them, not gaining any ground or anything like that. He's just right over there doing nothing and screaming for the ball.
That's Errol.
And that's the Errol we want, Luke.
Beautiful. You know who's never had thirst? Chad Warner.
No, he is as quench as they come.
This guy gets paid like he has thirst, but there's not anything thirsty about him.
If there wasn't Grind Mines going 67 against Richmond, Chad Warner would have got the camel.
You see he saved that score?
Did he? He
had like a third.
Oh my God.
So
His brother, he was the worst Warner on the weekend for like 95% of that game. Corey was showing him up. And against West Coast in, what was it, an 80-point win?
It was bad.
That is maybe not quite 80 points, 70-point win.
Sorry, it's taken me a while to get this up, but I will indeed do it.
I'll fill the air while you do
Thank you,
so.
mate. Perfect.
But 17 touches.
He scored
Kicked a goal too.
69 with a 38-point last quarter.
That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. So it's more than half his total score in one quarter.
Worth waiting for, right?
Absolutely.
Judo West and St Kilda. The bog here, Lockie Whitfield. Lockie Whitfield got it done, and he got it done late. He had a 50-point last quarter. Now, I know that there will be certainly some fans of friend of the show, DT Lemon, out there as well. And DT Lemon...
Put the big C on him.
I believe so. I'm sorry if I've stuffed this up, but I'm fairly certain that the Lemon went bang, C on Whitfield, and Lemon... snuck on into
the rankings
100.
thing is stuffing up because I can't look at everyone's round 24 teams, so I can't confirm those. But yeah, he was on the big boys. Actually, no, here it's back up. Yeah, he did captain him for the 129 points.
Shout out to Lemon, who has got himself a hat. I think he just scraped into the top 100
96.
on the back of a Whitfield captain on Sunday and a Dunkley huge game in the last. So that would have been a great ride home. So well done to you, Lemon.
Massive save, and would have saved a lot of other coaches out there as well. The flog, it just goes to Ross Lyon and Jack McRae because
I can't give Jack McRae the flog anymore. I feel sorry for this guy.
I think he's just bad. We could be witnessing the end of. I don't want to walk him out the door, but I think he's done. I don't know how much time he has left out on AFL football field.
Yeah, it's sad. I think there's a role that he could serve in some teams in the competition, but obviously Bevo and now it seems Ross have both decided not on their watch.
Yeah, so yeah, it's obviously, and it was if you didn't have a trade, him getting put on the bench, starting the sub would have absolutely definitely ruined your Sunday, your final Sunday of the year. Bulldogs versus Fremantle. Thank you. It's my boy, Tim fucking English. I could have gone Bont. Everyone's got Bont. I'm giving it to Tim because he was the unique that you and I both had all season long. 127, finished the year averaging 111 points, and just got it done. He loves the Freo matchup. I believe he averages close to 125 against them for the last 4 or 5 years. And got it done in tough ways this round. 15 disposals, but 7 tackles in this one as well. 40 hitouts for the big man. If you don't mind, he was doing his best out there. So as a slightly uniquer ruckman for 127, he outscored Max Gawn. He dominated Grundy, who other people might have had there as well. Outscored Rowan Marshall as well. So aside from Tristan Sherry, he was the next best ruckman, and he's been our boy all year.
There were teams out there on Sunday that were cheering home Sam Darcy, including, as you mentioned, Splash, who was looking for a Bont low score
brutal.
And a Sam Darcy high score. Sam Darcy has been tomb rated. Lara Croft all over him.
Just dominated the last
in his
2
tomb.
weeks.
Get out of his tomb, Lara.
Mate, 50
going
and
on?
60 in his last 2 rounds, and he didn't kick a goal. He hasn't. That was the first game the entire year, apart from the game he got injured, where he didn't kick a goal. So the last game, the only game he doesn't kick a goal.
I think at one point the camera panned and I saw Crofty giving it one of these ones.
Just
I'm the captain now.
down the barrel.
I'm the captain, he said to Darcy.
Very,
What's going
very
on?
disappointing. And again, he similar to something like he kind of saved that, like a couple of +6s at the end of that quarter. 50. Wow, that is just not what you wanted to see as a unique player in your forward line. I know there were some bad forwards, but yeah, that one was especially painful.
Quickly through the last game, Brisbane and Hawthorn. We mentioned Josh Dunkley before. He was bringing it home for a lot of teams.
In a tough matchup too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Super impressive. And then we will drive by a guy in his 300th game. We're not above that. Dane Zorko. If you were owning Dane Zorko, he was still pretty pottish there at the end, and you're hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah, good the week before, terrible this week, which offset that. So yeah, unfortunate.
Dylan Moore was copying a little bit of close checking because he's a gun player. But
he's a gun player.
Again,
but
some people would have had him coming in as their knight in shining armour to fix their forward line, and he did not.
No, he did not. A lot of disappointing forwards in the final round, which basically summed up that position. So we're going to spend the rest of today's podcast, and it might not be a super long podcast, but of course there's not too much footy to talk about. But we want to go through some season awards, a bit of a reflection, if you will, for the season that was 2025. And we're going to go through a few questions here, and I'd love for everyone to play along with this one in the comment section over on YouTube. So you can do several or all of or just one of these, I guess, reflecting points on what your season was. But we're going to start with some positives and basically go through our best trades of the year. Starting with you, Luke. Who was your best trade of the year? What round was it?
Mateus Philippou.
No, it wasn't. That was wrong. That's the next one.
Ooh,
That's the next one.
You said best trade of the year. I'm talking about when I traded him out.
Nice.
When I traded that guy out, That was my best trade of the year.
When did you trade him out?
Don't know. Not quick enough.
Not quick enough. Okay.
Not quick enough is the answer. From memory, he was there just laying egg after egg, and I had to hold him. I've been saying this. You know, I love a whinge. I've been saying this. I don't reckon I had 2 trades in a week where I actually got to use the trades on what I wanted to.
You had a few
for like 10 weeks.
Yeah, for the first, like the second half of the year, sorry, you had a lot of forced trades. That's what happened. Started by shooting yourself in the foot.
Correct. To be fair. Yeah, to be fair, it was self-inflicted, a lot of it. But yeah, Mateus Philippou traded out best trade of the year.
Just can't even remember who it was to. Just the fact that he left the side.
Just the fact that he departed is good enough for me. How about you do yours, and I'll think of a genuine good trade.
No, that's all good. I'm going to go right back to round 3, and in round 3, I traded out Harry Perryman and Ollie Hollins, those 2 duds.
Who came
And I got in Corey Warner and Zaya Wanganeen Miller in round 3.
Oh boy.
I saw enough after those first 2 rounds, and I said, get that Wang in my team, and let's bring on in Zaya Wanganeen Miller as well. So I was very, very happy with that. It was a Richmond matchup. He scored well. I remember we were frustrated watching that game early on, but he came back and had the best season of his young career. So I was very happy to have him for basically the entire season.
That was an impressive trade for your team, but that was probably also a turning point for the podcast as well. I would love to see the graph of how much Wang gear we do. And I think after round 3, you'd see a spike.
It definitely spiked. I mean, it definitely spiked the closer we got to the bye rounds. He started really becoming the Wang that, stood up.
We saw an uptick.
Yeah, it was... It definitely, and it will continue. Don't worry about that. It will continue.
Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. But that was my favourite trade of the year, not only for points, but also for team morale.
Yeah, nice.
It was a very good week.
What about your worst trades of the year, Mitch?
My worst trades, I thought I had a pretty good second half of the year. I think one of the things that I got better at this year was luxury trade seasons. However, in round 18, I traded out Isaac Rankin and Jai Caldwell, who was a one-hit wonder in Richmond. And I traded in Zach Merritt and Jack McRae. I traded him out in round 10. I'm going to really focus on the Jack McRae side of things here, because after I traded in Jack McRae in round 18, he went on to score. I should have had this organised, but he went on to score in round 18 a 90, a 61, a 94, a 71, 101, 66, and 34. I got him for 1 week at 79%. The rest of the scores were 66% or fewer time on ground. So I basically picked the point where his time on ground just took a nosedive. So I only got the 1 ton against Richmond, which was a 101. And he was unique at that point because obviously he'd been injured. So that was a terrible, terrible trade. I also remember that Isaac Rankin tonned up that week. I also got Zach Merritt in just after he went massive, and basically his highest score from that point was 115. And then I traded him out the week before he scored as 132. So I got none of his good scores and got him injured. So just an all-round terrible trade in luxury season.
That's a rough trade.
Which, was not a fan of.
I suspect that trade coincided with me sitting here on the podcast and saying Jack McRae will be the number 2 averaging forward behind Bailey Smith.
I think I might have stolen that in a spicy take or something like that.
So that's seems like a pretty powerful moz.
We cocked that one up.
That was a big wang up. My worst trade of the year. This is more of the greatest hits kind of segment than just isolated trades. But I'm going to talk about Horny Boy. And this spans many trades and many weeks.
The trade back in.
But essentially, when I didn't want to start with the guy, I ended up starting with him. He sucked. I copped the injury. I traded out on the injury. I waited. He came back, produced a good score. I traded him in, didn't get the good score, got the shit score, got the subsequent injury or whatever the fuck happened. So I'd hate to see what Horny actually averaged in my side. But fair to say, it made me very horny.
Yes. I'm just trying to figure out. The week you got him back in round 15, scored a 67.
There's a reason I didn't check.
And then the week after in round 16, a lovely 37 on your field.
Yeah, the reason I didn't check is I didn't want to hear it. But I appreciate you.
So
you got my back.
Across those 2 weeks, he probably averaged about 50. So that's a very nice return on investment. All right, we're going to go back to a little bit more positive, and we talked about trades, but we want to talk about basically our best round rank of the year. So the week that it kind of all came together. Weirdly enough, mine is the same as my best trade. I don't think it had anything to do with me trading in Wang, but in round 3, trading in Wang, I mean, maybe it was just, again, morale. I scored what did I score? I'll go back to it. But basically, I had a round rank of 129, and I went from a rank of 24,000 in round 2 to 3,000 in round 3. So that was my best round rank of the season. And
would that be your best round rank ever?
I'm not sure. It'd be up there. I don't know if I've ever seen a double-digit round ranking before, but I scored a 2001 in a best 18 round. So that was a pretty good round for me.
Impressive.
With the vice captain on TDK and just a lot of good scores. Remember when Clayton Oliver was good? That was fun. Brayshaw was scoring 110s back there. Even Jack McRae and Rankin were good back. And then Caleb Daniel had his highest score of the season, tied highest score with 115. And that was also the round that Sam Davidson came in off the bench. We traded in Corey Warner for that red dot.
Oh, yes.
Which was tying into
midway through the round.
That was tying into that trade that I did with Wang to get the 125. So that round I basically traded in a 125 via a red dot.
Yeah.
And Zai Wang Miller, who scored the 112. So that was my best round rank of the season. What was yours, Luke?
After that, I don't care to share. Early in the season, I was doing okay.
You were doing well.
But the best round rank I had was still 2,700. So 2,768 was the best round rank I had.
Just consistent. Just getting in there.
It's generous. I really do appreciate you being kind. But it's pretty fucking atrocious. 2026.
I bet you I've got you on the worst round rank. I bet you I've got you there.
We'll see. 2026 is the year of the me. I'm declaring.
The year of the me.
I'm declaring it.
Nice. Well, if we go to the other side, worst round rank of the year, it wasn't too much later. And we know what round it was. It was the camping weekend. Round 6.
Where were you ranked?
I scored a 1799. And this was best 8. This was best 22.
It's early in the
back
season.
then. So I scored 200 points less with 4 players more, and it's a round rank of 53,000, and that dropped me from 3,000 back to 11,000 in 1 week. So that was with a 2 on my field, a 30 on my field with Christian Moraes. What else did I have on the field? I had a Caden Cleary, 33 on my ground. This was even with a Nick Dacos 131 captain.
Oh.
I captained a good player. Actually, I captained the best scorer in my side. I couldn't got more out of my captain. I only had, what did I only have? 4 other tons, and the next highest ton was 106 in that game. So just absolutely deplorable. 36 from Zach Reed. 63 from Levi Ashcroft. It goes on and on. Tom DeConing, 62. It was an absolute stink of a round, and I think that is the worst round that I've ever had playing AFL Fantasy.
Yeah, bro, you suck.
There you go. Can you top that? 53,000?
I can't. You got me there, but I didn't really have a good look through here because the numbers made me feel miserable. But I have had a quick look here, and I think 36K is about my worst one, which is interesting because I look at my backline. She's a 131, Nasiah 128, Connor Rosie 170. But there's also an Angus Clark and a Riley Hardiman 40 on there. Thanks, mate.
Yep. Hard to watch.
Doherty in the midfield, horrible. What was my captaincy? I got a good captaincy. Bailey Smith.
Bont 50.
Kai Loman 24.
Kai Loman. That's gross.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. So there was a few in the high 20s, 30s.
Yep.
Pretty bad.
Now we're going to go flip again positive.
I don't like this game.
No, it's just a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. MVPs / best starting pick.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if we didn't have the same one here, but I'm going to say the MVP for my season has to go to Tim English. The man was just a picture of consistency and effort.
Yeah.
And just was the pick in my starting squad that I know you questioned probably the most. I also started to question a little bit with some of the other players out there. But he basically, out of any ruck, outside of Max Gawn, he scored the second most points of any ruck all season long. Averaged more than Grundy, averaged more than Tristan Sherry, more than Marshall, was cheaper than all of those players as well. So very, very happy to have Tim English for the entire season.
Yeah, just to keep it different, I knew you would pick Tim, and fair by you too. So I did try to have a look at some players that had been in my season, in my team for the whole season, and Harry Sheasel, I started with him. Not all teams did. I think
it's a good pick.
I think it's serviceable.
Yeah.
Like
he nearly made my best trade in when I did get him in because he was good.
So I'm not sure. I think at the end of the season he's averaging. What did he average? 110 over the course. What did he have?
How many players have you got in your side that actually stayed the journey? If you go back to your round one side, if you.
Let's have a little.
While you figure that one out, I only had last year. I remember last year. I think I only had one starting fieldable pick, and I think that was Lockie Whitfield from 2024. This year I had a few more, maybe just because my team was worse. But so I had Brayshaw, I had English, I had Max Holmes, and I had Bailey Smith. So those were the four players that stuck around in my side the entire time. Jack McRae came and went. He started, trade him out, trade him back in. But yeah, the rest, all left.
For me, it's Sheasel, Brayshaw, Rosie. I didn't trade. I don't think I traded Rosie.
Yep.
English, Bailey Smith. I traded out and in, but Caleb Daniels stayed around the whole year.
Caleb Daniels, the stalwart of the Ox shits.
It tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, that's the summary of your season right there. So yeah, I was surprised that I thought there would be more. I will say a special shout out to Max Holmes. I thought he was a good starting pick. The only thing with Max Holmes is I think he went up like 10 points on average or maybe 8 points on average for the season. He just started slow. Yeah. That's the only thing. It took him a little while to get going and had a season basically where he averaged 101. He had 0 points in the 90s. No points in the 90s all season. So not one single score where he scored he didn't score between 87 and 106. Wow. So his season, and he averaged right in the middle of those two things. Yeah. So he was just up and down all season long. But when he was on, and did what I expected him to do, maybe just not in the way I expected him to do it. Because the previous year, he was all about consistency, high floors. So it'll be interesting to see if he can bring those two things together from here. Let's go to the really never again list.
We get really negative here.
Now, I don't normally preach never again list, and I do say this in a bit of jest, but who is someone that you cannot see yourself having in your side unless something dramatically changes?
Well, I don't know whether you were just giving me shit or whether you genuinely think this, but you were talking about Mateus Philippou as one of the guys that we might have a look at the start of next season.
Hey.
No,
not for you. He will be cheap.
I would rather go against him and finish 8K again than have the poo re-enter.
See, we're not going to get him.
Meant to be.
We're not going to get him priced at 36 next year, which is what he averaged this year. 36, Luke. We're going to get him close.
Shouldn't come back in, mate. Poo is
it leaves.
It's always a go away thing.
It's an out thing, not an in thing. Yeah, I mean, look at these last 3 weeks: 24, 13. 18. Kicked 2 goals in that last game for 24. Subbed out, but...
This all being said, I'll tell you exactly what will happen, okay? So I've just said this now. This is what will happen. McRae won't feature in the preseason. Philippou will play in the midfield, preseason games. Mm-hmm. He'll score really well. We'll all bring him into our teams. Round 1 will happen. Round 0, whatever the fuck is going to happen.
Are we doing round 0 again, you reckon?
I don't know. That's an aside. But... Pooh will be at full forward, or Pooh won't be there. This is what will happen. This is what happens to us.
He'll come back in the midfield. He'll twist our arm.
Ollie Hollands. This is
that guy.
This is Cam McKenzie from this is
it'll happen. We'll fall for it. My never again is actually from the same team. Jack McRae. I said it before. I think he's done. I don't see a world where I actually ever have Jack McRae in my side again. He is 31 years old. He's going to be priced at 91 next year. I'm not paying that to start. And I think the more we just see of Jack McRae, the more we're just going to realise he's not an AFL standard midfield player anymore.
He goes well when you don't own him.
He does.
You don't
So
own him.
you're
I'll
welcome
pick
for
him up.
everyone else.
Yeah, I actually think he'll go pretty well under a new coach too.
A new coach.
I'm just assuming he'll get traded.
Yeah, that'll be the only reason that he.
That-
I mean, but St Kilda was it. Like, if you're not getting St Kilda starting midfield minutes, you're done.
What are you doing?
I mean, Richmond, we're not taking him in. Maybe if he goes to West Coast, that's his only. But then again, they don't score any points. The other player I did want to just put a little flag in there, just because I hated watching him, Christian Petrarca.
Ooh.
He just absolutely got under my nerves because he is so good of a player, yet such a bad fantasy player. I mean, a lot of people were picking him in the midfield to start the year because he was value priced at 90. He averaged 90.
Oh.
I think that's just him. Now, there's a little bit of rumors of him maybe moving clubs, but
Okay.
I just can't stand this guy and his Instagram. just I don't know. Whenever I see a little video of him cooking up a storm, it just gives me, I don't know, makes me just angry inside.
He's probably a good chef.
He's probably a great chef. But I want the chef videos and the scores to correlate. And right now, it's more
not like-
videos, the worse points.
It's not like the baby bump, is it? It's having an opposite effect.
It's a different effect. So he's on my never again list. And now we're going to get into sort of the lessons, a bit more of a general topic, but lessons that we've learned from 2025. So what have you learned from 2025 that you're going to apply in next year? That's either going to make you a better coach or make the season more enjoyable. You can choose to take this either way.
Okay, well, I'll start serious because I don't have a bit.
We'll get that later as we talk.
This is something I didn't get to experience this year, but watching you experience it and other coaches as well is I think that we maybe need to start considering approaching luxury season a little bit differently to how we previously have in terms of trading out premiums, getting in premiums in good matchups and stuff. Because I just feel like there was so much evidence in the back half of this year where we thought a tag was coming. It didn't.
Yeah.
We thought a tag was coming. It did come. The player still went big. We thought a tag was coming. It did come. The player dropped to 30. If you can't with great accuracy predict those things, is the lesson then not to just keep generating cash, keep upgrading your team, keep getting loop options on every line? This is the thing. I mean, you only have to look at Lemon, who has likely been the best coach over the past 5 years or so.
Yeah.
His game is team value. That means he's always generating cash, and it's likely that he ends up with extra premiums that he can loop on.
100%. Yeah. And this is something that I think that I did improve on this year. Now, I wasn't in the same position for it to matter as much as I was last year. But the fact that in the last 2 rounds, I went up 200 ranks over 2 rounds in the last, like that
That's
to me,
good at that time of the year.
I'm pretty happy with that. And I did that on the back of playing the loop game. So round 24, putting Noah Anderson on my bench, seeing the 48 and going, okay, obviously I don't want that score. I was playing the loop game with him and Butters basically for the last month of the season. So Noah Anderson, I took his 118. I put Butters on the bench for a 97. The next week, Butters 150, Anderson 48. He's on my bench. So I flipped it around. Round 22, I had Noah Anderson 65, Butters on for a 122. Week before that, I had Anderson on field for a 123, and I had Butters on the bench for a 34. So I was just playing loop with this one. And so
those numbers are massive.
So those are big turnarounds, and I think that saved me a lot of points. Despite obviously having them in their shit games, I was then just bringing them back on for their good ones.
Yep.
So that is definitely something that was a lesson for me last year that I think I've applied a bit better this year. Now, there's still some improvements that could be made, especially maybe in the forward line and things like that. But yeah, definitely something that I think if other people can get on board and get to that 20, the earlier you can get to that 24th premium, the better, I think.
Let's also consider that the little, I guess, asterisk on this one is that this was a year where we had midfielders who were a lot cheaper than what they would have been in previous years.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a definitive top 8. Maybe we had a top 4 in that last part of the season that you could rely on. So I guess those guys were cheaper. You could bring them in a little bit discounted. It was maybe defenders that were a bit more expensive, but I think the logic stands.
Yeah, and we're still following that trend of the midfield just not not playing as well. We only had 2 players. I mean, it's one more than the year before, but 2 players average 110. Surprisingly, Marcus Bontempelli was the highest averaging midfielder for the year.
It was that back half, mate.
Massive
last
back
8 games.
half. But he was so cheap at one
I'm
point.
talking about his form. I wouldn't comment on his back half.
Oh, okay. All right. But he pipped Jordan Dawson at the end there. A couple of 108s in Dacos and Dunkley. And then it's all less than 105. So, yeah, it really was that big 4 in the end. And then a bunch of just guys, figuring it out for those final 4 spots. So, and a trend definitely over the last 2 or 3 years that I think is maybe here to stay. I learned, or the lesson I took from 2025 is I think I need to place a bigger emphasis on just really ramping up the cash generation in the first half of the year. I think I've always known that that's a big thing, but I think I'm just going to place more emphasis on it because the movement you can make during the buys and that early period after the buys, I think is massive. And the evidence that we have that, like, again, what DT Lemon preaches, I think that to me is super, super important with my trades, really just prioritizing on that. However, I do want to still stick to my guns when it comes to things like having a red dot loophole. That's worked for me in the past. Why I went away from that, I don't know why. We talked about players that stuck on my side the whole time. Harry Boy stuck on my team the whole time.
How much cash did he generate for you?
Fuck all. 38K in round 1. Never saw him again. And so that cost me points at the start of the year because I didn't have a loop. And there was questions at times, is he going to come back in? He never came back in. The other guy that was going to be the permanent red dot that we didn't trade played more games than him in the end, Max Heath. He came in and played way more games than Boydie. So to me, I'm going to stick to my guns with that. It wouldn't have cost me any cash gen and would have just given me more flexibility and more ability to loop, which I think would have scored me more points. So sounds contradictory, but I actually don't think they are because it didn't cost me any cash in the end of the day.
Before we go to the last little segment here, a couple just more very quick learnings for me. No more speculating picks in shit price ranges for me. Just you hold me to these, please.
We'll clip this up.
No more.
So players like Ollie Hollands and who else do we have?
Pooh, Kitty. And this extends to my next one. Don't let me trade in players sight unseen. Why the fuck am I doing that?
Yeah.
Sorry for all my swearing tape, but why am I doing that?
Yeah, and then wait a week.
My last learning is just get Holmesy to take over my team.
Yeah, fair enough.
Why am I in the driver's seat? I'm as proven a good fantasy coach as Holmesy is. I'm proven a bad fantasy coach.
No, well, hold on.
I hope Holmesy isn't listening to this because I hope he's got his feet up, not even thinking about fantasy after his last few weeks. But if you are Holmesy, there's a spot available at the Oxlongs for you, mate.
Hey,
and it's the coach's spot.
Charge him a lot, mate. Charge him a lot. He'll pay it. But you'll be back, mate. You'll be back. Holmesy was shit for a little while, and he came back. No.
Well, there's the great thing about fantasy is that at the start of the preseason, it doesn't matter what happened last year. There's always a sense of hope.
There is always a sense of hope. So, and to finish it off for the podcast today, we're both going to bring 3 players to the table that we're watching closely and just starting the brains ticking over for next year and what we're going to be doing. Throw me your 3 players, Luke, that you want to touch on.
Let's go one for one. How about you start? You have a better rank.
Well, I wanted to kind of group mine together.
Oh, sorry. Apologies.
So you ruined my plan.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just do it then. I'm looking at the ruck line because the ruck line always gives us headaches.
So you've got 3 players.
All from the ruck line.
You're going to trade them all in. Okay.
No, but I think these are going to be the players that are going to cause some headaches in the preseason. And, we talk about set and forget, all this sort of stuff. It always comes around. 2 players which I think are going to be very popular starting picks in the set and forget camp. Rowan Marshall and Tristan Sherry. We saw Rowan Marshall storm home with 116 average in the final half of the season. That's exactly what he averaged in the entire season last year. He's going to come in price at 105. That to me is a slam dunk pick. In a similar price bracket, you're going to have Tristan Sherry, who in the last 2 games put up back-to-back 150s. Everyone has fond memories of him smashing the second half of the year. A lot will depend on their fixture at the start of the year. But Tristan Sherry and Rowan Marshall, to me, are guys that I think are going to be very popular starting picks. The guy that I think could be the value pick of the season and was not on anyone's radar this year, well, he was, but he was a terrible pick, Kieran Briggs. He's going to be priced at 70. He has had seasons where he's gone 90 plus, and the man just could not stay out on the field. So to me, the fitness is going to be very, very key for him. But I want to know why he sucked so much. He started the year, he had the 8 with the injury, then went 86, 96, 87, and then just fell off a cliff for the rest of the season. But yeah, priced at 70. He's going to be 25, 26 years old. I think that he is a legit smoky for a bit of a mid-priced value ruck as an alternative to the set and forget ruckman. So I just think that's going to be an interesting position and one that I'm going to be paying attention to. Obviously, it always is a big talking point, I think, in terms of structure and things like that. But I think Kieran Briggs is a very fascinating one.
Well, I'm going to lead off with a guy that I know in 4 months' time you'll be sitting here telling me why we should pick him. It's Andy Brayshaw.
I don't know about this one anymore.
You're going to
don't know anymore.
You're going to be telling me Andy Brayshaw's a 110 guy. He's priced at 100. You got to pick Andy Brayshaw. There's upside there. I guarantee that this will happen.
I think
I'm
going to change my tune here. I think I've seen enough with Freo.
Freo are good now.
Yeah, rewind the tape to the start of the year when we started watching the beginning of the season. We were worried.
We were
concerned. It wasn't validated until the second half of the year.
He was propping his scores up with tackles. Listen to this.
His tackles stayed high the whole year. His disposals were the thing that fell away.
Freo had a season-defining game on the weekend in terms of playing for finals. They beat the Doggies at home.
Looked as good as they ever have.
Guess who was their highest scoring player and what did they score?
Oh, I remember it was like Banfield or something, wasn't it?
Banfield scored 95.
Yeah. And they look great.
And Freo would have been fucking happy with that game.
Yeah.
So
so you had 19 touches from Brayshaw, 1 mark, 7 tackles. Like I said, the tackles were still there. The last 5 games, 7, 6, 5, 8, 2, 10, 14 tackles. It's been the disposals where he went 18, 22, 23, 23, 32, 21, 29, 24, 25, 29, 31. Like those 2 games since the buys that he went over 30 disposals. That is not the Brayshaw. And so, I don't know. I think early doors for me, I am not someone who thinks that Brayshaw is going to be underpriced.
I just want to put it on the radar there because I think I might
I might come around. I love the guy.
I love the guy,
but we're having a bit of a falling out at the moment. Wang's in, Brayshaw's out.
Okay. I like it.
Give me next one.
Butters, new coach, priced under 100. Walsh, if he can... Walsh is always one that teases us. He always teases us.
Walsh is... It's hard with Walsh.
I think there's going to be a host of midfielders that are maybe 3, 4, 5 points underpriced and can score in line with the top 8 mid. Sorry, and I think there's going to be a temptation there for people, especially there's some that have new coaches coming in.
Yeah.
And I know I've already had 3, but the one man that I will find a way to pick next year is Jason Horne-Francis.
I actually think he might not be a bad pick.
I think he's been priced at 82, correct me if I'm wrong.
He'll be much cheaper than he was this year.
Welcome
82.
to the Ox Shits. You're the captain of the Ox Shits, Horny.
Hey, if the coach comes in and moves some magnets around, plays a bit more of a fantasy-friendly game, hey, there's room for him. There's room for him, absolutely. And he had some good matches. Like he had 5 tons on the year, 3 of them 110 plus. There's a reason that he's obviously cheap with a few injuries there. So
I think next year's Caleb Daniels' year too.
No, it's not. No, he's done. He's going the way of McRae, and he's done.
Oh my!
We might put a fork in it there, mate.
Let's do it, mate.
So
congratulations on a good season, eh?
That is 2025 done and dusted. Please, again, in the comment section, guys, let us know your highs and lows of the season. We're very interested to see and reminisce with you all. Chances are we won't be back on the mic until early 2026, but never say never. We might feel the itch to come back on early, but we do need a nice break from footy, and we will be watching along without the fantasy lens in mind. Good luck to everyone out there who's playing AFLW Fantasy. I won't be jumping on board this week. Obviously, you missed it already. It's already started, but good luck to everyone out there, and congratulations again to everyone who, first of all, the people who won hats. Awesome job. But also the people who won their league, beat their mates, the people who had the best rank that they've ever had, regardless of where you finish it off. Those are all really, really good milestones to hit. So it's not always just about sort of being at the top. It's about improving every year and having fun along the way. Hopefully we helped you along that journey in 2025, and we will see you in 2026 to do it all over again. See you later. Bye!